goodness, that's loud.
Welcome, everybody, to Tuesday, March 19th, Newton's Board of Selectmen's meeting at 6:06. We're sorry for the late start. We were having a little bit of technical difficulties. We would like to start this meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We will now welcome any citizens' input about anything that's on the agenda for this evening. Citizens' input, if anybody has any questions or any comments about anything that's on the agenda, if they'd like to speak now.
So the warrant articles are on the agenda. This would be the time to speak because once they enter into business, they won't take any public input while they're taking action.
Okay, one question, my name is William.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Oh, there's no mic?
Yep.
That's all
My
right.
name's William Butler. I live on 33 Maple Ave. First question is, do they go through the agenda in order with the articles to discuss?
No, you didn't discuss it, you can discuss it now.
Okay, I'm kind of curious about the tower situation on Maple Ave. I live on Maple Ave, and I live between the two properties, which has the right-of-way, where that road is going in to start. Number one, back in February, you had a representative that said that there was a parcel of land that allowed access for Verizon or whoever is moving in there to put the tower in. And she had stated, correct me if I am wrong, that she said each property only owned a half acre of land, and that is not the case. So that's my first concern. Secondly, I was curious about the revenues and what they plan on doing with the revenue that they get with that. If it us being affected, would it, is there any tax relief for us? Or if they have to purchase additional leeway on that right of way, are they gonna purchase it, take it? Because I own part of that property, so those are my concerns.
First of all, it was two gentlemen. Can we turn this down a little bit? It's a little loud. Jamie, thank you.
That's better.
It was two gentlemen that came for two different companies.
Okay.
And they were simply talking about the right-of-way to go in, so it wouldn't affect your property or the other adjacent property. It would just be a pathway that they would create a road to go in. They were going to maintain it, set it up in place at no cost to the town. It's gonna be a certain height. It's not gonna be one of those gargantuan ones that you see off the highway that looks like the Empire State Building. The one that they're putting in place, I believe, was 135 feet or something like that. So, maximum. The whole reason why the town did it was to improve the 911 systems because that's a huge dead spot in town. The police and fire can't communicate. So because we're able to allow them to come in, put the tower up at no cost to the town, they are gonna put a repeater on that for us at no charge to the town, which could cost, and I've heard over the, from some other constituents of other towns, over $25,000 per year that they pay for that repeater. The monies that come in, because you won't be affected and all that, those monies will be coming into the town, and we have not yet decided, where those monies would be being put in place, because we would have to see, it all depends on how many repeaters from companies that they get up there and put up in place to where we would get a percentage depending on what levels they're at. So the more that they end up putting on there, the more that we have, and then we would figure out how much money we're getting and where it would make sense to take that money and place it to where it would be best be used. So that's why we haven't made any decisions with that.
The intention to put it up on the top of the hill that's up there, has anyone been out there to survey or look at the land to see where it's actually going to go?
Yes,
Okay, that's what I'm concerned with.
yes. The young lady right behind you had a lot to do with it, if you would allow her to step up, and she'll address some of them.
So hopefully this will help. The Tower people are going to be here at your next meeting. They couldn't make it here tonight, so all these questions are great questions. They can answer them on their April 2nd, and I told them 6 o'clock. And all these questions, we reviewed 16 different properties. They sent their engineer out with these tools to check the reception, and it was narrowed down to actually 2 properties, but this was the best one. So really, all your questions, they're not prepared to answer. I'm not prepared, but
It's them.
it would be perfect. And we have to go, and the selectmen know this, we have to go through the process. Is going to be planning board is going to be involved, the town engineer. So I think it'll be well vetted. You'll have plenty of time to say whatever you need to say.
Does that property become private property once it's out there? Is that
It's
still?
town property.
Property.
Right, but it's still,
We own it, they lease it.
even though the tower's still out there, we can still access.
Yep, the only thing, and again, this is me pretending I know what I'm doing. So there's going to be a 100-foot fence around the entire tower. That you can't go in,
It's a
but.
safety, right.
Exactly.
I get that.
But yes, all of that land, you will have access to.
And the only other concern, you said you stated that right-of-way road, that it's not going to extend, or, so it shouldn't affect either side of the property.
It will not affect either side.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hello, Julia Fitzgerald, 37 Maple Avenue.
I'm sorry, can I have your name?
Tricia McCarthy.
Oh, you're, hi. Oh, just another person. Okay.
Okay, so I, along with my neighbors, have several questions, issues with the proposed cell tower. I know, Mr. Marchand, you spoke and said that out of sight, out of mind. That is not the case for people living right immediately in the neighborhood. So I now understand next meeting will be the chance to hear proposals. But at this time, do you know exactly where on that piece of property? Okay. So I am wondering, first, there is over in East Kingston in the industrial park, there is currently a cell tower. Did anyone look at possibly having repeaters added, sharing that tower?
The reason why it's being put where it is because of the dead spot in the town, and it would be better for the town if it was located right there.
It would be better for some of the people in the town. It would not be better for the people in the immediate neighborhood. It is not a case of out of sight and out of mind. The industrial park over in East Kingston, where there are not a lot of houses right close by, already has a cell tower in operation. It is close enough, it should adequately cover. In one of the previous meetings on this whole issue, there was something said, there was a question about, what about Newton Junction? Will this cover Newton Junction? And the answer was no, the junction will be covered by a cell tower over in Plastow. East Kingston is 3 times closer than the cell tower in Plastow. There's also, has anyone looked, Kingston is currently looking at putting in a cell tower over on Hunt Road. Has anyone investigated that possibility?
These 2 companies had come to town, and they did their due diligence when they drove around town, and they checked the the strength of the signals, and that's why that was the site that they had came to conclude that would be best suited for it.
Again,
With the
best is
positions of
relative.
the positions of the other cell towers, so that one cell tower would be able to talk to the other one, and then the areas would be covered.
Okay, so Kingston is looking at, they're putting a balloon up so people can see the height of the tower, and they're doing a site walk. Is that an April 2nd question? Or,
That would be an April 2nd question if you wanted to bring that up with them.
okay. Are cell towers allowed on conservation property in town? Yes. They are?
Yep.
Okay. I go along with Bill's question about right-of-way. It seems the amount of access is probably wider than is currently there. Maple Ave is a scenic byway, which trees cannot be cut. So looking at the front of that, it doesn't look like there's going to be a
It's
lot
going to
of
be,
access.
it's going to be set in. It's not going to be set right at the edge by Maple Road. It's going to be
It better
in
not be right on Maple.
towards further inland. That's why I said it won't be seen.
But how access?
It's a simple road to get in, to be able to do the construction, to put it up, and then they will go in and they'll maintain any growth and whatever to make sure that it doesn't become encumbered with the woodlands.
Okay, I don't see how they're getting trucks in there past the trees that are currently there without cutting trees. So I guess for now, those are my concerns. I have real issues with, I know everyone's like, oh, they're not a health issue. There are reports, mostly out of Europe, about the health.
Well, we have one right here. If you'd like to take this, you can read it, where it's been debunked about cancer.
I will, what's the best way?
Yep, right here. You can take it.
The thing with reports like this, it usually depends on who's paying for it. And there are several reports out of Europe showing increased rates of cancer, tendinitis, other issues. It's related to the RF, which radio frequency non-ionizing radiation. It's been documented in scientific research, this is the Environmental Health Trust, that it increases cancer risk, cellular stress, headaches, sleep issues, genetic damage, changes for reproductive system, mostly with men, with fertility, memory deficits, and there's impact on the nervous system. And it's from continued exposure. People like DeRochers are here. I don't know what their plan is, but I would assume that at some point, Sharon might want to have one of the girls take over the house. They'd probably want to raise a family. Continued exposure from cell towers is incredibly detrimental to children, to their brains and to their bodies. And I know already the Butlers, and I'm sorry if I'm speaking out of turn, their sons already said, you know how I wanted to buy the house? No, don't want to do that anymore.
House values are going to go down, we're not even going
Yeah.
to sell our houses.
So these are our concerns. Thank you. Yeah, the Cancer Society, if you read it, says right in there that it's too short term. They don't know for sure. They won't know for another 20 years, and then it's going to be too late.
Any other comments or questions? That being said, we will move on to administration, the reorganization of the select board. Would anybody like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Dan Guy to be our chairman for the next session.
I second that.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Mr. Aiello. Is Mike on? No. He's not? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations to Mr. Guy, who is now the chairman of the board, and we will switch positions.
Yeah, I'm not switching. Not
Want
tonight.
to sit? All right. Nomination for vice chair. I'll nominate Joe Simone,
I'll second that.
seconded by Mr. Aiello. All in favor? Aye. And then we'll move on, we got to do the ex officios. I have,
Dan takes over. I take over.
I'm just used to it.
I know you are.
Tell you how Matt feels like, right?
You can shut your mic off. I'll accept nominations for ex officio for planning board.
I'd like to nominate Bob Marchand for ex officio to the planning board.
I can second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye. Thank you, gentlemen.
That's unanimous. I'll accept a nomination for conservation commission.
I'll nominate Mr. Aiello.
No, that's not for that.
The next one.
Joe Simone for rec.
I'll second that.
No, for conservation.
Conservation. I thought you said rec.
No, not yet.
Turn that mic on.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll accept a nomination for the ex officio for the rec commission.
I'd like to nominate Joe Aiello for the ex officio position on the Recreation Commission.
And I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. All right, do good work, gentlemen. Number 4, administration. Do you have anything for us, Jim, that you need to?
I actually thought you might want to jump to C and weigh in on the results of the vote on March 12th. Thoughts and feelings. It's very different than last year, that's for sure. And by judging by the mostly 2-to-1 votes, the community has a great deal of confidence in the board and the direction they're moving in the way that they're conducting the town's business. The only article that didn't pass was Article 4, which was the request for a road bond to do repairs in town. That lost by 4 votes.
Very close.
You guys did a great job, and I think people are very satisfied with what's going on.
You guys have anything to say about the warrant articles?
Nope, I would just like to thank the town for their input and their confidence in what the board's been doing, like Jim stated, so that we can get this town moving forward and get a lot of issues that have gone unaddressed taken care of.
I'd like to chime in on that, and I'd like to say that I believe with last year's vote, the citizens of Newton have embraced a change in culture as to what's going on, and I think the vote has showed that they put their trust in us to do what's right by the town.
Isn't that one of our goals?
Yes, it was.
Accomplished.
Yes, it was.
I checked it off.
We do have to
Check
do.
that one off.
We do have to do a better job of communicating because of all the votes cast, there was about a third of the people that still really, I feel, haven't gotten the message. And so we have to do a better job of communicating and using any means of communication, including social media, Facebook pages, web pages, to get that message out. Overall, I think the citizens of the community, they voted for our people, our safety, and our infrastructure. So hopefully we can move forward on those initiatives and do a better job.
Yeah, I agree. Joe?
From
Being
last
supervisor
year-
of the checklist, you have a
No, I'm just saying from
outlook.
last year's vote, the way it went to this year's vote, the people, really stepped up this year and did a great job with the warrant articles, so I think it's gonna be good all around for the town, so hopefully we can get in the right direction now.
Yeah?
And another thing, I think we've been very transparent this year as to what we're doing. So that's a big plus. That hasn't happened in the past, so once again, part of our culture change.
And I'd like to thank everybody that was there. The people that showed up to vote, the people that helped set up, run it, the moderator, the town clerk, all of them, everybody, soup to nuts. They did a great job.
And let's not forget Diane's involvement in the voter guide
Yes,
and
yes.
the town report. Couldn't have done it without her.
Diane for the voters guide.
Yeah, the comment from a lot of people that at the elections was they really appreciated the voter guide because that gave them a good insight as to some of the things that they didn't know about, and so you'll see that moving forward on a more regular basis.
Agreed. Was there a lapse in that, Diane? That we didn't do it for a couple of years?
I don't think we've ever done it from.
Oh, really?
I don't think so. I've never seen one.
Hold on, she's gotta get hooked up.
I could be wrong, though.
I wasn't expecting to have to speak.
Sorry.
So, the question about the voter's guide?
Yes.
No, we've done them now for about, I think ever since I started, so about 4, 5, 6 years maybe.
Oh, okay.
But not in the mail.
No, not in the mail. The mail is different.
first
The
mail.
mail is the first time, correct.
Well,
Yeah, that's what I mean, the
We got a
mail.
lot of good reviews about getting it mailed out, so that's good.
Good.
That's really good feedback from the town on that.
We'll have to put it in the budget next year.
Jim's budget.
And don't forget about the countless hours that Mr. O'Mara, the town administrator, put in
Agreed.
behind the scenes to get all this stuff
Yeah.
organized and accomplished also.
There is, speaking of behind the scenes, there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, and for the millions of our fans out there, to quote one of our ex-members, we're always looking for people to help us out in any way that we can. I mean, you might think your contribution might be minuscule, but in the scheme of things, it helps out tremendously.
There's plenty of boards to join, openings, everything, so.
Need a supervisor.
Yeah, we do. We need a supervisor of the checklist, and if you're interested, email Joe and he'll get you up to speed on what you need to do. That's a good plug right there. I think that's it on that. D, EMS plan.
Fire chief is present. I think we could start this off by saying the board doesn't intend to give the fire chief a plan. You're looking at a plan from the fire chief regarding rolling this plan out. Nothing final yet, but a rough idea of a timeline, changes to the fiscal plan, and any proposed scheduling that might help give you some insight into how things are going to run when that day comes.
Sure.
Just follow up. The ex-project manager that built the station and we have met with the electrician, the fire alarm contractor. I am meeting tomorrow morning with two-way radio to set up soft wake. So when you're in the fire station, you can shut off like during an election. You don't have to hear the tones and everybody talking. You'll get a tone instead of all that. The only thing that is left is from the ex-project manager to give a quote in just sheet rocking. I think three or four walls a foot. And then the game plan from that is to go in front of the board, have the board review it. If the board approves it, the work will be done. As I'm standing here now, the cost that has come in is, I think, $750 to do the fire alarms and the electrician and all that. I don't know what the rest of the cost is going to be. Once that's done, we'll bring it forward to the board. The board can review it. If you approve it, the work gets done. And then from that point, I am meeting with the deputy. For those that don't remember, we ran 24/7 for a year and a half during COVID. Went like a Swiss watch, no problems. As of right now, per the board, we are probably come in front of the board in your next meeting in 2 weeks. We have 2 more individuals that would like to come on board from the job posting. And that if they come on board, they'll give us, I believe, 11 paramedics. So Newton is, right now, we have 9. Newton is top heavy on paramedics, as the board has said numerous times. Newton is very fortunate on the EMS side. That's that half. Once I'm gonna meet with Jim, I'm gonna talk to Jim, hopefully tomorrow during department head meeting. Just gotta fine tune a couple of quick things, nothing earth shattering. And then we'll come in front of the board to discuss it with the board, and when the board feels comfortable, we'll start the 24-hour staffing.
All right, let's, I'm gonna put this right out there. Nothing gets done
Absolutely.
to that building, to the hiring of people, or any of that, until it comes before this board so that we can make sure everybody is on the same page.
Yep.
We don't want any hiccups with this. We want this to come off and get running and hit the ground running.
Absolutely.
We got three other towns that were involved in that contract. They're on default. Their budgets did not pass.
Correct.
It is imperative
Yep.
that we make sure that we get this running and we get it running right from the get-go so that we have people in place that are getting paid appropriately, all on the same page, so that when those other towns get up and running, they're not gonna poach our guys from us.
Yep. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
That has been the fire department's commitment since day one. We
Yep.
will not do nothing. Well, I don't want to say we, I personally will not authorize nothing unless the Board of Selectmen approves it.
That's what I wanna hear.
Have my word on that.
All right.
Since we last talked, did you get another update on the ambulance or no?
Yes.
Not a big deal if you didn't, because
Yes, it is,
go.
the Ford chassis, they are waiting for delivery of the Ford chassis.
Yeah.
They are still hoping for the end of '24, the beginning of '25. The town might have an opportunity to switch from the Ford chassis to a Dodge chassis with a Cummins. The body would be the same, it'd still be what the board approved, the Horton body. It would just be the chassis that would change.
Sure, so you'll just bring that to us if they offer it?
I'd
If
have
it
to
can
bring
be
it.
quicker, you'll bring it to us, sure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
'Cause the board would have to approve
Yeah.
the change, and the board would have to approve the final purchase of it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wonder, Chief, if it would be helpful to the board, you ticked off quite a few things that you've been chipping away at. If you took a couple of minutes and put your thoughts on paper of where you are to date.
Absolutely.
And then how you want to move forward, or how you see it moving forward, then they have something in front of them.
Yep.
And we all know the magic word, no project goes without a change order. So let's not forget that. Things happen.
Yeah.
But let's not lose that term from our vocabulary, because it's bound to happen. We just don't know where or when.
Yep.
That'd be helpful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Got nothing else?
I'm good. I'm good.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Right. Approvals? Oh, you want me to go to him?
Yep.
Well, we received a letter from the trustees asking for an initial disbursement for their operating expenses. As you know, they put together a budget, but what they get their appropriations when they ask for it, but they can't exceed the total that's been appropriated. And they can spend that money as they deem fit for the running of the town's library. And I think the dollar value is $35,800.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get that?
I move to release monies in the amount of $35,800 to the library trustee for the sum of the library's operating expenses.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Joe? Thank you. Simone? All right. Manifests?
Right down the list.
Okay. I move to approve payroll manifest in the amount of $56,871.64 for pay period February 25th to March 9th, 2024, with a pay date of March 14th, 2024. Payroll includes $0 in opera costs.
Second?
Seconded by Bob. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous.
I move to approve vendor manifest in the amount of $55,565.35 with a pay date of March 12th, 2024. Payment includes $4,755.31 to the Health Trust and $32,500 to Trinity Pride Star EMS.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous.
I move to approve a withdrawal in the amount of $5,302.00 from the Cable Revolving Fund to pay an invoice to Armon Networks.
Second.
Seconded by Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous.
I move to approve a withdrawal from the Police Special Detail account in the amount of $1,113.69 made payable to Wex Bank for fuel services with a pay date of March 12, 2024.
Second.
Seconded by Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous?
I move to approve withdrawal from the unfirmed Fire Watch account in the amount of $107 for an invoice to East Coast Emergency Outfitters with a pay date of March 7th, 2024.
Second.
It's supposed to be
Uniform.
It is.
All right, uniformed. Gotcha. Seconded by Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Before we get into the other thing that's not listed on here, Trish, did you have anything tonight that you wanted to talk about? Because you weren't on the agenda, but I'm going to ask you anyways because you're here.
I was very upset. Just a couple real quick things. For those people that participate in the Seabrook drill, wow, that's loud. We have a mock drill that's being scheduled next Tuesday, that's the 27th at 6 p.m. Those of you who are on my team, you know who that is. I just found out about this, so I'll be sending out calls. And that's 6 o'clock at the fire station. The other thing is, you know, we've been working with FEMA on this disaster storm from last July. Mike and I have spent hours and hours and hours with them. They're steering me for one of our issues on Pond Street, at the end of Pond and Webster. We've got some issues down there, and I've done a letter of intent for an aquatic resource mitigation grant, and they've got me all signed up on Friday for my first webinar. They said sometimes this is painful, it might take a while, but I'm at least starting. I told Mike that today. The other thing is we had a Seabrook update. Janet Stevens, the executive counselor, sent us something. There was a big meeting today. It came down from higher ups that they wanted to cut staff at Seabrook Station and do a multitude of other things that are going to affect us as one of the 17 communities. I'll keep you posted on that. I don't know how the vote went today, but I'll let you know. And lastly, the sign board that Selectman Simone and I have been talking about, they got back to me. They did say that we can do a sign. I can do it as a grant. It has to be mobile to be covered. So if you're doing, it's got to be mobile. We can plant plants around it. We can put a little deck around it, whatever. But they would cover it with grant money. So I just wanted to share that with you. And that's it. Thank you.
Oh,
Yes.
Did you mention about the burn this week?
Oh, yes. Oh, sorry. For those of you in the public and probably the selectmen, if you want me to do an alert on Saturday morning we're doing a live training burn on Thornell Road. They are predicting precipitation, which might mean, I just got an education with the chief, the smoke is gonna stay lower to the ground, which might affect residents and abutters. So if you want me to let them know, I'll do an alert on Saturday morning about it. The road is going to be closed except for local traffic, unless bad weather. I think that's what the chief said, and then we may have to do something different. We're going to have signs everywhere, plenty of blue lights. You'll see what's going on, but that's on Thornell Road is the burn.
I think it'd be a good idea to post the alert, that way people are aware of it.
Okay, you guys okay with that?
Yeah, that's
Do an
And
alert
that's Saturday, right?
this Saturday, yep.
It'll be good because we're due for a storm Friday night and a Saturday, so everything will be
I
wet
know.
all around it.
I know.
Perfect.
Okay,
But yeah, that would be wonderful if you sent that out.
I will
So
do
that
that.
everybody, at least a lot of people would be aware of it.
okay. And then I will change the sign to put it back at the transfer station closed Easter.
Sure.
Yep,
Right.
so just so everybody heard that, transfer
Everybody-
station will be closed Easter Sunday.
TV land, listen. Okay.
Thank you, Trish.
Action items, new and old business, Town Facilities Assessment Committee.
Yeah, with that said, I'd like to move to appoint the following individuals to the Municipal Assessment Committee established for the purpose of having both the Newton Town Hall located at 2 Town Hall Road, Newton, New Hampshire, and Gale Library located at 16 South Main Street, Newton, New Hampshire, assessed with respect to the overall structure as it relates to future needs of the town of Newton, New Hampshire. The committee shall report its finding to the Board of Selectmen no later than June 7th, 2024. And those people are Tricia McCarthy, Mike Pravero, Jim Ryan, John Sylvier, and myself, Joe Simone.
That's who you got on the board right now, Joe?
Right, that's me.
Yeah, he's looking for you guys to approve it, so that's his motion.
Motion to approve.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
thank you.
No, thank you.
One other thing, I just want to let people know that the Just Church is sponsoring a pancake breakfast on the 30th of March, which is the day before Easter, in the morning from 8:30 to 10 p.m., 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. rather, and there'll be an Easter egg hunt for the kids following that with the Easter Bunny present. So, and the cost will be $5 per person.
How we doing on that 275th, Joe?
Well, we're moving along pretty good. We have some good fundraising that we've already done. Now that we have the budget, we can move forward with like a fireworks celebration, people like that. Those vendors have already started contacting me because evidently they've seen the news that the article was approved. The other thing of note is that due to some great work by Susan Peterson and Pastor John from Just Church, we've been approved as a 501c3 charitable organization. So with that all said, there'll be some additional benefits coming forward with that. So we appreciate everybody's help.
Nice.
And the other thing I just want to let you know is we had an event here this past Saturday. It was an appraisal, antique appraisal event of small goods, and was very well received by the town. So thank you for your support.
Was it well attended?
It was pretty well attended. They were happy with it. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Nice.
I have two things, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. The first is I wanted to let the community know that oftentimes when you hear the manifest being cited, the dates are already gone by, and the community should know that New Hampshire state law authorizes the Board of Selectmen to come in between meetings and sign individually these manifests that are being memorialized, I guess is the best way to say it, at a meeting that comes after the action. So many times when you're making these motions, the checks have already gone out the door because you have already signed the manifest.
Right.
So this is a reaffirmation. The second thing I'd like to let you know is the clerk collector's office will probably be closed one more day tomorrow. Hopefully that'll be the last day. They've been closed Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday due to illness. The selectman's secretary's office has been closed Monday, Tuesday, and probably tomorrow as well. I'm here, so I answer the door and get yelled at when people want to register their motor vehicles. And they are not happy, because really there's nowhere for them to go. And it's most unfortunate, and I feel their pain. But, you know, if I could do it, I would, but I'm not an authorized agent of the Department of Motor Vehicles. But
I don't think you want to be on that side of MJ if you did do it, so.
No, for the most part, people understand that things happen. You know, when two people are a department, that can happen very easily, and you need to understand that. So that's the only things I really wanted to bring to your attention, just to educate the community on manifests and the state of the state in this building.
Sure.
And wish me good health, please.
Yes. That being said, I'll entertain a motion to go into non-public.
I make a motion
Before
to,
you do that, about, we should talk real quick about setting goals for this coming year.
Yeah, so you're right. It's not on my agenda, so I forgot.
Right, that's all right.
Yeah, pretty much you guys just come up with some goals and we'll put it on the agenda and we'll just workshop it out here. And then we'll come up with maybe 5 goals or so that we're gonna all agree on, and then we'll go forward with that.
sounds like a plan.
Yep, along with getting things done that the town approved that
Yeah.
needs to be addressed.
Yep,
And if you could send them individually from you to Robin.
sure. And then
She'll be
Robin
able
can
to-
compile them and
Yep.
make us a nice list. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, do that, email them to Robin and,
Yeah, and then we can prioritize them.
yep. Okay.
So with that all said and done, I'll entertain a motion to enter into non-public session under RSA 93-A, semicolon, 3, Roman numeral 2, A and B.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous.
Thank you, folks.